Hi everyone, this is Alana and today I am doing a training tutorial on how to add padding to an image in WordPress. Now I wanted to show you how easy it is to add a little padding around an image, and this is a great tool to have if your images don't sit the way you like them to on your page or post, and even after you've tried to resize them. So this method will require you to do a little bit of coding, but it's basically copy and paste and make a few changes to the size of the number of pixels. In order to get the most out of this tutorial, though, you should probably read through all the instructions first so that you're familiar with what you're about to see on the video below, okay? So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to my posts, and I'm going to the sample post that I started here. How to add padding to an image, and I'm going to edit that post. Now what I've done here is I've picked up some sample text here, and that's on the text tab here, and on the visual tab I also have an image here that I downloaded from Pixabay. So we're going to be working with the text tab in this part of the video. So I'm going to go over here to the text tab. As you can see here, there's a lot of space here at the top, and I'll show you why that is. So over here on the text tab, you can see here where it says Style Padding Top 50 Pixels. So I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to update my post. And then I'm going to go back into the visual tab so you can see what it looks like now. So as you can see, it sits right at the top and it's lined up nicely with the paragraph to the left. Now if I wanted to change the padding, if I wanted to say add some padding over here to the right, or over here to the left, or even here on the bottom or at the top, I'm going to add a little bit of code to do that. So I'm going back into my text tab here, and I am going to grab a little piece of code. So what I'm doing here is I'm copying and pasting in a little bit of code that is going to change the padding at the top of my image. And what you want to do is you want to place it right here in front of the source, src equals, and this is the link that is for the image itself, and it ends on JPG. So I'm going to paste that in, and I'm going to put a space here. Now I want you to make a note here of, you can see that the quotation marks are curled, and if you leave the quotation marks curled, then you won't be able to see any changes because WordPress doesn't really recognize that. So I'm going to back those out and put in proper quotation marks. This may not happen on your system, but it will all depend on where you copy and paste it from. All right? So I'm going to save that now, and really the reason I've done this is to put a marker here so I can make changes later on. So I'm going to update my post, and then I'm going to take a look at it in the visual tab. And as you can see, it's been moved down about 10 points. If I wanted to play around with the number of pixels here, the next thing I want to do is I would want to go to my developer tool. And then I'm going to go into my view post here. I'm going to right click here, open it in a new tab, and I'm going to click here. So this is the view that you can see here. So if you wanted to change the padding here, this is where you would do it. You would do it on the view post page, okay? So we're going into the developer tool here, and on my right, I'm using Google Chrome here, so I'm using these three dots here on the right. I'm clicking here. I am going to go to more tools here, and then I'm going to scroll down to developer tools. This is the inspector. This is the inspector button that you want to use. So I want to click on that, but you also want to make sure that you're in the elements section, okay? So when we select that and we scroll up, you can see how it changes, and it actually selects different parts of your page. Now what we want to do here is we want to select this picture. So I'm going to click on this picture, and when I click on this picture, you can see all the code that is picked up for that picture. Now I want to call your attention to the padding over here on the right side here, and this is the padding that I put in as a marker on the image so that I would be able to play with it from here. So if I wanted to change this padding and see, maybe I want it 20 pixels. So I'll put in 20 pixels. And when you put in 20 pixels, you can see that it moves down a little farther. Now, if I wanted to make it, say, 30 pixels, it will move down even farther again. You can see the difference there. But I think to make this look okay, I'm just going to use perhaps 5 or 10 pixels. So I'm going to go with 10. Actually, we tried 10 already, so I'll try 5 pixels. And that just brings it down ever so slightly, and I would prefer to have that rather than have it line up completely with the paragraph. Now that's just a personal preference of mine. It doesn't mean that's carved in stone. You can suit yourself. So as you can see, the 5 pixels looks to be where I want it to be. So I'm just going to make a note of the fact that I am going to change that padding to 5 pixels. Now any changes that you make here in the developer tool will not be saved on your website. So you can change this as much as you want and it's not going to affect your website. So now that I know that I'm going to be using 5 pixels to move that image down a little bit, I'm going to close my developer tool here on the right by clicking the close button. Then I'm going back into my page. And I'm on the visual tab here, but I need to go back into my text tab. So I'm going to my text tab here. And here it is, the padding that I put in as a marker. So I'm going to change it to 5 pixels because that's the one I decided that I liked the best. So I'm going to make that 5 pixels. I'm going to update my page. And then I'm going to go into my visual mode. When I go into my visual mode, you can see that it's gone down ever so slightly. Now, if I go over here to my page and I refresh this page, you can see that it's about 5 pixels. It's exactly 5 pixels, actually. The main thing you want to remember to do is to make sure that once you make the change to your code here, that you save it. Now, before you save your changes, you can go back into your visual tab and make sure that the change that you made has been effective. So you can see here that my image has moved down the 5 pixels. And I have saved it, but I'll just save it again. And that's it. Now I could also go ahead and make changes to the padding on the left and on the bottom and on the right using this same method. You can play around with this by creating your own test page and putting in some sample text with a sample image and then going into your text tab on your post and adding in the code and playing around with it. So I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial, and if you have any questions, please leave them below. Thank you very much. Bye.